Hey, what's up, you guys? WWE Fan 0599 here again, and welcome back to WWE Fans TV Recap Show. And today's recap show will be for The Flash. So, this episode of The Flash is entitled The Fury of Firestorm. And, of course, before we get into this episode, of course, there's going to be spoilers. So if you have not seen this episode, please do not watch this review. But if you have seen the episode, or if you just don't care about spoilers, continue while watching. So let's begin. So what this episode is basically about, it's about, the team needs someone to basically be intertwined with, Doctor, the doctor, the doctor, his name will pop up again, but they need someone to intertwine with them. They need someone Mr. Stein, they need someone to basically be merged with Mr. Stein, and they have two candidates, Henry and Jeff. So, yeah, so what did I think of this week's episode? Another great episode, honestly. If you think I'm just kissing the show's butt because I love the show, no, it's just that it's just another great episode. It really is. I honestly think it's another great episode from The Flash. I honestly love this episode as well. It was just another great episode. So yeah. So let's get into my positives. And my positives are the acting with the episode. The acting was great in this episode, I thought, of course, Grant Gustin as Barry Allen / The Flash. I thought he was really good in the episode. He did really do a good job in this episode. I really enjoyed him, so yeah, he was really good, of course. The guy who plays Joe West, he was great as well. The woman that plays, Iris, she was really good. I really liked her in this episode. The girl, Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin, she was great as well. So yeah, everyone was great in this episode. So I thought everybody did a nice job. They were really great in the episode. So yeah. The action, the final action piece really was great. I love that. That was a nice little action scene that we got. That was a really cool one. Really enjoyed it. So yeah. The writing was really good with the episode. I thought the writing was really good with this episode. Some really good writing in my opinion. So yeah. The directing was very nice in my opinion. I thought the directing was very nice. It was a very nicely directed episode in my opinion. So yeah. The visuals looked really good as well. I thought the visuals looked very nice in my opinion. The visuals did look pretty good in my opinion. So yeah. So yeah, let's talk about some of the moments that happened in this episode, because there were a lot of moments that happened in this episode. So yeah, so let's get into them. First off, we see in the beginning of the episode, we see kind of Jeffrey's background, really. We see Jeffrey's background, he used to be a football player. But when the particle accelerator hit, he broke his leg and I think his abdomen, if I'm not mistaken. He broke both of those things and basically couldn't play football anymore. So I like seeing what was his background beforehand. And then when we see, the two possible candidates, Jeffrey and Henry, they bring in Henry to test, and it doesn't work. It's not working really. And what happens is that Caitlin basically helped Henry activate his powers, his actual powers, and he's now crazy now. So, that happened. Also, we see that Harrison Wells takes something. Harrison Wells takes something from the lab that he was with that woman with. I forgot her name, but we see him take something. It looked like some sort of blaster. We'll get into that much later. But we see him take that, and then she's saying, is Wells dead? Like, is he dead? And they're all like, we can't tell Barry about this, but we'll get into that more later on. And then when you see, Jeffrey's like, oh, you guys are gonna fix my leg, right? And they're actually like, no, we're actually here to bring you in to talk about, being a superhero basically, and helping merge with with he always escapes my mind, and merge with him basically. So yeah, that was really good. And he's like, nah, I can't do this. It's too crazy. Mr. Stein. That's his name, Mr. Stein. Remember it. Okay. And he's like, this is too crazy. I can't do this. So yeah, and Caitlin's like, oh, you had great grades. You must have walked away from that. And basically, she was being kind of mean, and she was like, oh, yeah. I should probably go apologize for that. That's the next moment I'm going to talk about, when she goes to Jeffrey to go apologize to him, and she's like, my husband was the one beforehand. He was his partner beforehand, helping him out and everything. And Jeffrey understood why she was kind of being like that, not accepting change in a way. And so she didn't really want to accept change, and I really liked that. That was a nice character moment for her. So yeah. Then Jeffrey's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be merged with Stein. So guess what? They do. They merged him and Stein together, and now they're the new Firestorm. And we see that, and then the final action piece when we see Flash and Firestorm trying to take on Henry. That was really cool. I really liked that. And the more angry he gets, the more built up he will get. So they're trying to make him more angrier and angrier, throwing more insults at him in a way. So that was really cool. I liked that. They had kind of a game plan with it. It was very well filmed. I thought the action scene was very well filmed, in my opinion. Very well filmed action scene. So yeah. And then let's get into the final moment of the episode, which honestly probably was my favorite moment of the episode, when Flash, he sees Pepe, I think it's Pepe. When you see her, he's like, seeing her and everything. And then this shark, like this big, huge shark, like this shark man thing comes in. He's like, I'm doing it for him. Like, throughout the episode, they were talking about like this kind of like, oh, there's a shark man on the loose. And then when Pepe sees it, she's like, I told you, like. So yeah, that was cool. And apparently that's Killer Shark from the comic books. I'm not too familiar with that character, but apparently that's who he is. He's Killer Shark, so I guess that was cool seeing. And then we see Harrison Wells and then we see someone blasting, basically. Man, I just said who it is, but we see a man blasting Killer Shark. And, Flash is like, who are you? Takes off the hood. It's Harrison Wells. So that was really cool. We gotta see what happens next week with that. So that was awesome. Nice, awesome moment. By far, I think my favorite moment of the episode. So yeah. However, I do have one negative with this episode. It was the same negative I had with last week's episode. This whole storyline with Joe, Iris, and their mother is it's awful. I'm sorry. It's really bad. I think it's awful, this storyline. It feels like a soap opera type storyline, and it's awful. It is terrible. The only thing that saves it is the tremendous acting from the guy that plays Joe West. That's the only thing that saves it. Everything else is awful about this whole situation. It's terrible. Now she has a disease. She apparently now has a son that she kept from Joe. What's going on with this segment? It's awful. It really is terrible. It's probably the worst thing about the show right now. If I had to say one really bad thing about the show, it's this storyline, and it's awful. It's really bad, and I'm not liking it. It's like I said, it's some soap opera type stuff, and I'm not liking it. It's terrible with this series. It really shouldn't be in there. So yeah. But overall, besides that, I love this episode. This was another great episode from The Flash. I really enjoyed it. So yeah. So it's time for my official grade on this episode, and my official grade on this episode is an A. Another great episode, like I said. I really enjoyed it, so it's definitely getting an A. So what do you guys think of this week's episode? Leave in the comment section below. I'm WWE Fan 0599, and we'll see you about later. Peace.